All right, we are live. Good morning, West Covina USD. I am Tony Ramirez, Chief Technology Officer. Welcome to another live training session where we will be talking about the latest technology tools and resources that we have engineered just for you as we enter into this new stage and phase of hybrid and simultaneous learning. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to bringing our students back into the classroom. Our priority is to use all the tools and resources that we have in the classroom to help engage our students and interact with them in person. As we bring our students back, our goal is to continue to provide the same excellent in-person instruction right where we left off just over a year ago. Keep in mind, as we talk about the tools and the strategies that we have and recommend, that you are the master of your own craft. And the only expectation is that we are not doing what we're currently doing, distance learning in the classroom, but we're continuing to engage with our students as we previously did. Although this will be challenging, I'm fully confident that no other staff out there can do it but you guys. So we're eager to get things started right away, but before we do, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items and some introductions. So today I have with me Jennifer Crabtree, our coordinator of Ed Tech, distance learning, hybrid learning, simultaneous learning, pretty much all things learning with a computer. We also have Johnny Guerrero, our computer system support specialist, who is the man behind many of our ed tech tools that you use daily. We have our fabulous district TOSAs, Joyce Savoy and Tomoko Price. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, we have our very own teacher from Merlinda Elementary, Lucy Lopez, who has been instrumental in testing and piloting a lot of the tools and resources we have. So this morning, we have some of those exciting tools and strategies and ideas to share with you, but we'd like for this to be as engaging and interactive as possible. So if you have any questions, please refer to the details section in the YouTube video, or in the calendar details, you'll find a link to a Google form to submit any questions that you may have. There will be a dedicated time to submit those questions. So once we get through the bulk of our training, we'll go ahead and do that. So I will be monitoring those as we go forward, and we'll do our best to answer every question that is asked. With that, we are ready to get things going. So I'll send it over to Jennifer Crabtree.
Thank you everyone for tuning in and wanting to learn more about simultaneous instruction and mostly the Poly Studio camera. So hopefully we'll be able to calm some nerves today and answer all the questions that you may have. So team, how are we feeling about coming back?
Coming back, we're going to be teaching from our classrooms. I've been teaching from home. How are we going to do this?
Wait, Johnny, you didn't get the memo? We're coming back. The kids are coming back. We're going to actually see kids live in 3 dimensions, like really soon.
That's awesome.
Gonna be crazy.
Well, that's great. But is the district going to provide any tools to help us engage both groups of students?
So I've heard we have these fancy new cameras, but I have no idea how they work or how we're going to use them. Like, they sound great, but how do they work?
In the class?
You guys, calm down. Remember a year ago when we were all going crazy because we were told we have to teach from home? But we got this. We handled it. I'm not saying we were like the ultimate pros at it, and we shouldn't be, but we handled it. We got through it. And now we actually get to come back to the classroom where we have all of our resources and everything at our fingertips. And this time we have these amazing new cameras that will actually let us stand up, walk around our classrooms, and teach with all of the resources we're used to teaching with. I can use my whiteboard. I can walk over to a pocket chart. I can do whatever I need to do and not be tied to my desk chair and my computer. So we're going to learn all about this camera. And to start with, we have this amazing video. It's our little promotional video to show you what it would look like to teach with the Poly Studio camera. Lucy Lopez did an amazing job of starring in this video to show us what it looks like having your students displayed on a Google Meet on your TV screen and having students in your classroom as well. So we're going to watch this video and hopefully calm some nerves, give you some ideas of what that would look like. And just know that this video, except for like the first couple shots, were filmed entirely with the Poly Studio camera. Tony, would you play that for us? Welcome, teachers, to the Poly Studio camera. With this simultaneous instruction tool, you will be able to teach the students learning in your classroom and students learning at home at the same time. During instruction, you are free to walk around the front of your room. You are no longer tied to your desk and your computer. As you move, the camera will follow you, so students learning at home will feel like they're part of the classroom experience. The camera has the ability to automatically zoom in and zoom out. You can also control this manually with the help of a small remote control. The camera will automatically zoom in on the speaker's face, and other classroom noise around the camera will not be heard. By displaying your Google Meet session on your flat screen TV, you will be able to keep an eye on all of your learners. This is just one of the amazing tools we have in place for simultaneous instruction. Live training on the Poly Studio camera will be coming Monday, March 29th and Wednesday, March 31st at 8 a.m. Thank you so much, Lucy, for agreeing to help us out with that video. I know it gave me a lot of ideas of what I would do in my own classroom. But can you tell me a little bit about what your experience has been?
Thank you, Jennifer. My biggest takeaway from using the Poly Studio camera is that I can walk with confidence to my board. I can point to my poster, my charts. I can teach my morning calendar. I can sit. And teach from my anchor chart here. It's such a natural way of teaching. I don't feel locked down to a chair or a monitor. My kids seem more engaged and I have less interruptions. It was such a magical moment when I noticed that I wasn't glued to my monitor anymore. I didn't have to be pressing the mute all button. I noticed that I felt revived again as a teacher, and this is what I was born to do. And it was such a smooth transition. I came in every day and I did a little bit more and more each day playing with the camera. And so it was a really great thing to see my students more engaged and less interruptions, and also they enjoyed the classroom setting. Thank you, Jennifer.
That's amazing. Have the kids given you any specific feedback about the camera?
Yes, they prefer the Polycam, and the kids think they're watching a movie, but it's me teaching in this natural setting. I noticed, like I mentioned earlier, there were less interruptions, they were more focused, and this is like taking learning to the next level. My son said, "This is like so futuristic, Mom." Thanks, Jennifer.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Lucy. So that's the thing that's in front of the classroom. Does it need to stay right in the front, in the middle?
Yes, Joyce. We would prefer that you leave the camera where it has been placed, as we have tested and verified this would be the best location in your classroom as far as audio, video, and tracking.
The camera takes the seat of a student in your room. It has a taped off dedicated location, and it's going to be socially distanced just like the rest of your students. But it's important that it is like a student in your room. So when you teach to your class, you're teaching to everyone at the same time, not just the kids in your class, but to the kids at home too. You don't have to walk to your desk and look at your computer because you're teaching to one view. And that's how the kids at home will experience it as well.
Okay, well, I know that teachers are excited to have the students back in the classroom with them. But how do we make sure we don't leave the students out who are on the Google Meet? Essentially, I want to engage both my Zoomies and my roomies, but we don't use Zoom.
Yeah, we don't use Zoom. So I was thinking I couldn't come up with anything funny or cute or clever to say for Zoomy and Roomie. So if you guys have an idea, please put it in the chat below or use the Google form and send it to Tony, and we will go over those later.
So that's the real question. How do we engage students learning at home and students learning in the classroom at the same time? Well, the Poly Studio camera helps that a lot because you're teaching to one audience. The kids at home are going to feel like they're part of the classroom because the view that they're seeing is the same view that the students in the classroom see as well. So as long as you're looking at the camera, they're going to see you looking at them. And then if you have your Google Meet on the TV, the kids in the classroom can see the kids at home. You can glance up at the TV, see your kids, and then if they're responding to a discussion question, you can look at them. And then when you answer, again, looking at the camera, looking at your class, and they will see you looking back at them.
So is the camera that Lucy's using today, is that the Poly Studio camera? Is that what the kids would be seeing?
Exactly. The kids are going to see the teacher in their classroom just like the kids in the classroom would see the teacher. This is just like the camera on your laptop, but better. It can zoom, it can track you as you move, it can, it actually has a microphone, so it's picking up your voice. It's like your camera on steroids, so it's that much better. Johnny, how is the camera connected to the computers?
Great question, Jen. The camera is set up and connected through the computer, which will allow you to stay engaged with your students while using, say, Google Meet with the students at home. Since the camera is connected to the computer, you'll still be able to utilize your other resources such as your Hovercam, your classroom TV, and for those that have front row speakers, as you normally have in the past.
That's awesome. Lucy, you've used the camera now to teach your students for a few different days. Like, how has it been utilizing all your normal classroom resources and utilizing that with the Poly Studio camera?
Yes, with the Polycam, you're able to utilize many teaching resources like Google Classroom. And don't forget, Jennifer, go Noodle.
That's awesome.
That's great, Lucy and Johnny. But can someone tell me if the camera allows me to zoom it, control the volume, camera movement and tracking? Does it have presets? And also I heard there's different modes, tracking mode and presenter mode. How do I know what mode the camera is in?
Great question.
Yes. The camera has all of these amazing capabilities. So I guess the next natural question is, oh my gosh, so I have to learn something new, right? It's going to be hard. I already have so much on my plate. It's almost the end of the year and I've learned so much. Yes. However, we've prepared a very easy tutorial video to show you all of the capabilities that the Poly Studio camera has. This video is going to be available to you on demand, so anytime you need to watch it to refresh yourself, you're going to have that at your disposal. Tony Ramirez did an amazing job demonstrating all of these features in this video. So Tony, take it away.
Hello, I'm Tony Ramirez, Chief Technology Officer with West Covina Unified School District, and I'm here to show you a little bit more about your Poly Studio camera. Every Poly Studio camera comes with many features that you can control with this included remote. Every Poly Studio camera comes equipped with two separate modes. Standard mode, which is the view you see here, and a tracking mode, which is enabled by your remote. Use the remote to engage the tracking mode. Once the button is pressed, the camera will follow you as you move around the room and teach in front of the classroom. The camera will pick up your voice based on the microphones built into the camera and follow you and continue to track your movements. Simply press the button again to disengage tracking mode to return to normal mode. By using your Poly Studio remote, you can manually zoom in and zoom out. To do this, press the plus button next to the magnifying glass to zoom in. Press the minus to zoom out. This is very helpful in situations where you want to zoom in on a specific area on your board in your classroom. To manually move around the room, use the control pad to go left or right, depending on where you would like to focus in on. The remote allows you to define two presets. A preset is a location in your room where you can focus your camera on for quick access. To do this, use your direction pad to identify where you want to zoom in on. For example, I will zoom in on this collection of books, and I will press and hold either the number 1 or number 2 button on the remote. You will hear an indication on the camera that your preset was configured. Simply press the middle button on the directional pad to return to normal. And now, if you press that preset number 1, you'll go right in to that saved preset. You can control the volume of your Poly Studio camera by turning it up or turning it down by using the remote. You can also mute your microphone by pressing this red button in the middle of your remote.
Thank you so much, Tony, for showing us how easy it is to use the Poly Studio camera. Because I have to admit, before that, I was even overwhelmed because of all the different features, thinking, oh my gosh, how does it all work? And now seeing how easy it is, I feel a lot better. And also knowing that the camera will do the tracking by itself automatically. So I don't even need the remote, but the remote is really nice to have. Thank you, Tony.
Super helpful.
Joyce, do you have any more questions?
Well, now I can see how the camera really takes the seat of a student. In fact, former kindergarten teacher, I'm going to put a name tag on my Poly Studio camera and give her a name so I remember that essentially it's a student and I'm teaching to the students at home.
It's a great idea, Joyce.
I'm naming her Polly. All right, but Tony, I really liked your video, how you showed us how to mute it. So on the remote, I just have to hit that red mute button so that the kids in the classroom won't be heard. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, to add another point to that, Joyce, the students at home will be able to hear, interact, and engage with the students in the classroom. However, they will not hear other ambient noises to distract them, as the Poly Studio camera has advanced audio features. You may also mute the microphone as illustrated in Tony's video. It's that large red button in the middle of the remote. Simply press down to mute and press the same button again to unmute.
Yeah, this is great. So the kids in the classroom and the kids at home on their Google Meet can still interact together in class discussions, just as you normally would. And then what's awesome is that the ambient sounds like paper rustling and things like that around the camera from the kids in the classroom, that's not going to be picked up by the camera. They'll hear voices, but not just that distracting noise. So you can really get that classroom experience for both sets of kids.
Well, that's awesome, Jen. Hey, by the way, you've seen the camera in use over the last couple of weeks. Any advice for our teachers coming back?
Yeah, there's a few things that I want to mention. Number one, when we were filming Lucy for that first video in her classroom, she had this big yellow happy face right on her whiteboard. And the camera kept wanting to focus on that happy face poster. So it is important to note that the camera does recognize faces. So if you do have like posters or things in the front of your room that have faces on it, the camera may want to keep focusing on that. So you might want to think about relocating some of those things. Also, if it's picking up your Google Meet on your TV, the camera might focus on your students at home. So just realizing that you might need to use that remote to refocus it on you. So that's something to be aware of. Also, I think it's going to be a learning curve for everybody to not look at your laptop camera, because that's what we've been looking at for the last year. And you really want to focus on that Poly Studio camera, because that's where the kids are going to see you. So that's going to be something that we all have to get used to. And then the third thing is wanting to teach the kids at home to pin the screen so that they see the teacher as the main focus, especially when you're getting up and you're writing on the whiteboard. Just to make that image larger, you want the students to pin you so that they can see everything that you're doing.
Wow, thanks, Jen. Those are some great tips. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel so much better. So we're going to have these Poly Studio cameras so I can actually stand up. Oh, wait, and
Where'd you
not
go?
become a headless teacher. So I can stand up and demonstrate things to kids. So for like math with the whole body kinesthetic, math is kinesthetic. Try saying circle, try describing a circle without making a circle. Just try it. You can't do it. Yeah,
Sure.
everybody has to. There is a mind-body connection so we can get the kids involved in learning math, and I can use my manipulatives and show them my manipulatives up in class, but I still have the Hovercam, right? So even like I can still use my other manipulatives that I can't exactly hold up. I can't hold up all of my place value chips. They fall all over the place. If I tried doing that, that would just not work. But I still have access to my Hovercam, so I can do all sorts of things. Like I know that California, we do the skip counting with jumping jacks, so PE can get into it too. Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it
Thanks,
is.
guys.
Tomoko, I'm so glad you mentioned the Hovercam, because we have a lot of different tools that we can use in conjunction together. Yes, we have this new Poly Studio camera that allows you to get up and move, but there's going to be times where you want to sit down and demonstrate something with your Hovercam. That's awesome. There's a time and place for that. You're going to have your TV monitors to display Google Meets. You have your front row Juno microphones. And that's going to be especially important because the kid, even though the camera has a microphone, the kids in the classroom still need to hear you, especially when you're wearing a mask. So to have that extra voice amplification will be that much better for you, so you don't have to scream, and the students in the classroom. So it's not that we have to use one tool or the other tool. Let's use these tools together. So Johnny, my
Yes,
question
ma'am.
is, because it's technology, you know, and
Yeah.
something's bound to go wrong at some point, right? So what if the camera freezes or it gets stuck in a mode? Like, what do I do? What do the
Like-
teachers do?
Like it freezes and freezes? Well, me personally, what I would do, I would go to my neighbor's classroom and take their working camera.
Johnny!
Just kidding. I'm kidding. Stop it. I would never do that. I'm just trying to make light of this whole situation. Just like with any other piece of technology, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If your camera does freeze on you during class, keep calm, stay cool. Simply walk up to the camera and disconnect the power cable that is on the back of the unit. Wait a few seconds to allow the camera to refresh its settings. Plug the power cable back into the camera, and you'll be back up and running in seconds. What do you think about that, Tomoko?
That sounds great, but who's going to set this all up for me? Like, I don't know what to plug in where, and you do not want me messing
Oh,
with
it's
this.
simple. It's like a printer. Just plug it in, Tomoko.
Really? That easy?
It's that easy. I'm just teasing you. Multiple tech staff will be out at each site on a designated day this week to assist all teachers to get set up as needed. We'll be sharing a Hyperdoc here shortly to outline this schedule for you. So rest assured, help is on this way.
That's great, Johnny. But let's face it, if it were me in the classroom with my camera, I wouldn't want to wait for a tech to set it up. I'd want to get it started ASAP. So can I set up my own camera if I wanted to?
Absolutely, of course. Although we prefer for you to allow us and our team to verify the proper setup in your classroom before attempting to do so yourself, the cameras are plug and play. They have been configured and set up by our site techs ahead of time. So if you're an eager beaver like Mrs. Crabtree, by all means, feel free to set up the camera and start playing around with it so you get familiar with those settings and the flow, and then you can start manipulating your curriculum. And as always, please submit a request and we'll get support out to you as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I feel so much better about the camera now. Thank you, Lucy, for demonstrating. It really helped me understand the camera better. I have another question. Do the students learning on campus need to bring their devices?
Yes, absolutely. You know, we've grown so much in this ed tech world in this last year. We were kind of forced to, right? Let's not forget all of the great apps and resources that we've learned and are using. We're still going to use those things. The only difference now is the kids in the classroom don't need to be on Google Meet all day long because they're in the classroom. But we're still going to utilize our iPads and Chromebooks, Google, and all the things that we've been learning and using because there's such valuable resources and tools. And that list is only going to continue to grow as we grow as educators as well.
So true.
Thank you.
That brings us to our Hyperdoc. This Hyperdoc lives on the WCUSD portal and is going to be available for you to reference whenever you'd like. Tony, would you show us that Hyperdoc, please? We have a bunch of great teaching resources for the Poly Studio camera, including all of those great videos, resources for the Front Row Juno and the Hovercam, links to watch these recorded trainings after the fact if you need to, our teaching schedule for hybrid simultaneous learning, and most important, how to submit that tech ticket and that technology schedule for this week. So we hope that this is really helpful for you, that all of these resources are in one location.
Well, that's awesome. Where can I find this again?
On the WCUSD portal.
Nice. Thanks, Jen.
So Tony, do we have any questions from YouTube?
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, we do have a couple. The first one is, are we able to use the Hovercam with the Polycam? And I can answer that one. The short answer is yes, you can use them both, depending on what you want to do. But you can't use them simultaneously unless you have more than one computer. What some other teachers have been doing is utilizing an additional Chromebook to connect either their Hovercam to or their Polycam to, and then connecting to that same Google Meet. That way, the students at home can see what is being shown on the Hovercam document camera, as well as you in front of the Polycam. So it is possible to do that if you are using more than one device. If you're just using your teacher device, you can toggle back and forth between the two camera feeds in the three little dots in the Google Meet. You can just change the settings there and toggle back and forth between that. But however you want to set that up, we can get you taken care of. So just reach out to your site tech utilizing a tech ticket, and we'll get that taken care of. Let's see. The only other question I have is I'm running out of USB ports on my laptop. She wants to use, sounds like they want to use more devices at the same time. So yes, we do have additional equipment that we can set up for you. So go ahead and just submit a technology ticket, and we can get either a USB hub or some sort of device that allows you to have more USB ports. That is all that I have right now, but if you're out there watching and you have any more burning questions, feel free to submit that. We did have this training on Monday, and we had quite a few questions regarding how to switch back and forth between cameras. And one suggestion we thought of when it comes to using the camera on your laptop versus the camera, the Poly Studio camera, the easiest way to toggle back and forth is to unplug the USB cable that is connecting your Polycam. Once you plug that in, it's going to take priority over the laptop camera. But if you unplug it, then it'll kick back over to your laptop camera. But if you have any questions regarding that, again, we're here to help, and we'll run out to you as soon as we can and get you situated. But I think that is all the questions we have so far. Any questions here from the team?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that we plug all the support that we have for everybody, because we're not alone. We have our district TOSAs, they have their Calendlies. Please schedule time with them. If you just feel like you need that one-on-one support, please, that's what we're here for. We have TOSAs live every morning at 7:30 to 8 a.m. So if you have questions before the day begins, you can call us, you can email us, you can submit a tech ticket. We're all here to support you. So please don't feel like you're alone.
Great. Well, thank you, team, for putting this together, and thank you, teachers, for watching this live session. Just to kind of recap, we did record this session as well as Monday's training session, and those links are live in that Hyperdoc, so make sure you check that out, the WCUSD portal. As always, our team is ready to assist and run out and get you set up and taken care of. So email us, submit a ticket, call us, whatever you got to do, we'll get you taken care of. And last but not least, thank you. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your efforts towards getting our students back in the classroom, because that's where they belong, and that's really where they need to be. With that, thank you to our team here for hosting, and thank you for all of you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day and have a fabulous week, and looking forward to the students coming back.